There's this article in the Times of Israel that came out August 12th, 2023, that says ex-general tearfully urges Likud ministers to be brave and oppose the judicial overhaul. Retired General Amiram Levin makes a tearful plea to Likud ministers to be brave and oppose the coalition's judicial overhaul legislation while addressing protesters in Tel Aviv. Levin, who at various times headed the IDF Northern Command, commanded Sayeret Matkal, and served as deputy director of the Mossad spy agency, accuses Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of wanting to hand the country over to criminals. Bibi wants to give the keys to the country to a group of awful ministers, some of whom are convicted criminals and draft dodgers, Levin says. To ministers who encourage massacring Palestinians subject to our rule, to a racist minister that loots the state budget and blocks funds for Arabs just because they are Arabs, to a justice minister that wants one authority and no independent judiciary. We won't let Bibi and his group of ministers turn Israel into a dictatorship. We won't allow it and won't stay silent until we win, he adds, using the Prime Minister's nickname. Levin issues a direct plea to some Likud ministers. I turn now to Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. When you think about the security of Israel, think about your friend Yossi Kirkin that fell in battle. Who would you want to go to war? His successors or the draft-dodging gang of National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, and Housing and Construction Minister Yitzhak Goldknopf? Levin also calls for Agriculture Minister Avi Dichter to remember his friends who fell in battle, asking, who will you choose as your partner in building a better future in your beloved country? Their successors, or in the gang of lawbreakers and warmongers who evaded the IDF in every way? Finally, he gives a similar proposition to Economy Minister Nir Barkat, asking if he prefers to continue the way of former paratrooper commanders, or would you prefer a group who discriminates against women, the LGBT community, and throws rocks at IDF soldiers? I call to you from here. This is the battle of our lives, but this is also the opportunity of our lives. Be brave. Here and all across Israel, you will find hundreds of thousands of those succeeding yours and our friends, he says. So he is a retired general, and he has these words to say. But remember, I said that Rabbi Menachem Schneerson, who passed away, that a lot of the Jews thought, of the ultra-Orthodox thought that he was the Messiah. And he was the one that told Bibi that he would hand the keys over to the Messiah. And he means of the government. Interesting that the general actually says Bibi wants to give the keys to the country to a group of awful ministers, some of whom are convicted criminals and draft dodgers. So who's he really handing the keys over to? Somebody that's a false Messiah in the long run? A king? Because recently I read to you from the Israeli article that the Messiah will be a king according to them. And we already know about Jesus as king. But I'm talking about the ultra-Orthodox. And so they're going to be putting the king over them so they can put their people in place and have a one-world religion with a one-world government and have all the nations come to Jerusalem. That's the ultimate goal. And to bathe in their own righteousness instead of the only righteousness that can come to us through King Yeshua, our salvation, our Redeemer, and our Savior. They've traded that out for another king when they put him in power over them. I believe it will happen through becoming a member of the Commonwealth of the UK, because I discovered that article that said that they had been considering that behind the scenes. And legally they're allowed to join the Commonwealth of Britain, of the UK, because they were once ruled by Britain. So they can technically apply to become members of the Commonwealth. That's all they have to do now. They don't even have to have a history of being ruled by the British government. It used to be that you had to have that in your background in order to apply, but anymore you can just desire to be and apply and become part of the Commonwealth. Apparently the Palestinians have thought about doing the same thing, and with this 7-year trade, tech, gender, and climate change agenda, the UK-Israel agreement that happens for 7 years starting in March, it has the words that they will ensure Israel's peace and security, which are the key words we see in the Bible about when they say peace and security, sudden destruction will come upon them and they shall not escape. These are critical times, and this is a critical thing that he said. You know, what are the odds of this retired general saying that Bibi wants to give the keys to the country to these criminal-minded people? That's what's going to happen. It's going to be a false Messiah, a false situation where they think they're restoring the Davidic dynasty and putting that king on the throne to restore the Davidic dynasty and have a monarchy again. These were the words that the Lord had revealed through the book of Revelation to me that I shared a long time ago. And obviously the general can see it coming. Well, that's all for now. Just wanted to give you this news report from Israel. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for any support for my channel. I appreciate that. And please read the Almond Tree, Aaron's Rod, the Messiah, King of Israel, about the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Revelations revealed for the last days. Truly stunning stuff. Available at olivepresspublisher.com. Good night.